Hi guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. So today we are having a look at the Tier 5 Barbarian Warriors. Obviously it is the Barbarian weekend at the moment in Total War Arena, so that means everything is reduced. So for example, 30% off the Tier 6s, I got these Tier 5s 50% off from the amount of experience required, and then I think it goes down to like 15% at Tier 8, yes. So it's slowly progressing down, but it kind of makes it a bit easier to get these guys upgraded. So yeah, we're going to be having a bit of a battle with them today and taking a bit of a look at them. Just to note, we'll also be having a Battle of the Week coming out. I think it will come out probably after this, probably Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that, which we'll be looking at the Tier 8 Barbarian Warriors, the Chosen Swordsman. So yeah, got that to look forward to as well. But these guys, the Warriors, what are they like and how do they compare? So I've had a few games with them so far. Thankfully, because I've got quite far with the War Dogs, some of the equipment carried over, and I've also had the Falksmen, so like the trousers and things like that are all interchangeable. So once you've done a bit of the Barbarian Technology, they're kind of quite easy to level up pretty quickly. I think the same is going to really be true once we get onto the Tier 6s. Things like the Raider trousers and stuff I think I've already got, and the Feral War Paint, so we can make a bit of a move already. I think I've got this oval shield here. So yeah, we'll be able to make a bit of a start once we got onto the Tier 6s as well, so that's something else to look forward to. But stat-wise, how do they look? So they play pretty similar to the Tier 4s. They get the same similar sort of abilities, they just get harass. They lose their Javelin, which is a shame. I don't know quite why that's been taken away. I don't know if that gets replaced again at Tier 6, does it? Yeah, it does. So for some reason, Tier 5s don't get a Javelin. Bit silly, don't know why that is. But they do get a Slam, which is quite nice as a strike ability, one of the new strikes that was introduced in the 3.1 patch, which not only does damage to the enemy, which is kind of nice, but it also gives the enemy a reduced movement speed. So if you can slam into the side of cavalry, that sort of thing, it's quite effective. It's almost like a slightly worse version of Hamstring. So yeah, pretty good. Quite a fan of that as a move. Particularly if enemies decide to try and run away from an engagement, you can slam them, then you get them in the back where they can't move, and you can keep up with them and do quite a lot of damage. So quite effective. Stat-wise, obviously, they don't compare to the Roman infantry. This is like the classic comparison. Even with Defiance, they will probably lose in the open. Obviously, if you can get them in a forest and make use of the Scorched Earth to sort of force them into an engagement on your terms, then it kind of works really pretty well. You've got to really take advantage of their mobility to force the engagement onto your terms, not theirs. They have a pretty decent base movement speed, 4.4. They're not hyper fast though. There's an option with consumables. I've gone for Spar mainly because of the melee attack. A little bit of shield armor as a bonus. But the other option, of course, is Sweros, which gives you that slight increase to movement speed. Which will probably just give a couple. I don't know exactly what it'll be. Let's have a look. So 4.4, so it gives you a plus 0.2 to 4.6, which just in my opinion just isn't quite worth it. Which is why I haven't gone with it. And I feel the biggest weakness of these guys is always their melee attack. Now with the combined weapon upgrade, which we got over here, which gives 5, and the consumable, that puts their melee attack up pretty decently at 103, which isn't too bad, and makes them kind of pretty... At least they can get hits on enemy units now. If you have that really low melee attack, they really struggle to land hits, particularly against the more armoured Romans, and then they do a lot of damage. So yeah, I think that's kind of important. But yeah, think of them as mobile flanking units, support units. Try and avoid getting stuck into main fights with them, and I think you'll find them not to be too bad. The mobility makes them kind of nice to play. So, without further ado, that's enough rambling, I think, so let's hop into a battle and see how we get on. So, we are loading into the Battle of Oasis. Not really a very favourable map for Barbarian Infantry. Really, the only bit of forest is this little bit here and down this side, which not really many people seem to fight in. It kind of makes life a little bit difficult. I'm as inclined to sort of just stick with friendly infantry as to push around the centre, if that's where most of the people are going to go. It's like on our layout, we've got a fair few cavalry kicking around with the light artillery over here, which is nice. Just have to sort of see where everyone goes. Yeah, because it's kind of a meeting engagement, obviously, so all around here is just long grass and water, so there's no benefit to the barbarians there. So unless the enemy is prepared to push into these bits of forest down here, which doesn't really happen very often, or if you're waiting that long for the enemy to get here, most of the battle has already been decided, so it's kind of too late to do anything anyway. So yeah, not a massive fan. Sometimes the enemy will wait in here, in which case you can push in, which can be a benefit, but we'll just have to wait and see. Looks like our light artillery are just going straight for the centre, which is an understandable move. Our archers are fairly far forward, so they've got to be a bit careful. They're going to get themselves exposed too much if they're not careful. I'm just going to push up to this forage edge, see what we've got. We've got nothing over on our left. and only some light artillery on our right, so we have basically no support. This guy's just going to get himself killed, really. I mean, he's just advancing on his own with no support. You know, it's just not going to go very well for him. I think these spearmen are defending the light artillery, which they are. Of course, they've just... This is what I mean. Why did they just do that? Well, it's obvious what was going to happen. And I don't want to get involved because I'll just get slaughtered by these elephants. Obviously, I'll help defend the light artillery if I have to, because these light artillery are really the elephant killers in this game. And that is exactly what they want. Just causing them a bit of slow down just a little bit. Okay, let's see what we can do. This guy's just disconnected. He's just thrown his life away. It's very silly. Now those elephants are pushed on, maybe we can see if we can do a little bit here. But I think these archers are probably going to be dead by the time I actually get there anyways. It's not going to make a lot of difference. Yeah, obviously the mounted warband, well aware of what's going on. Wanting to pull straight out of the engagement. We'll go for a charge, see if we can catch a few of them in the back. We'll go for a slam, see if we can get that to activate on any of them, but not really. We caused a few casualties, but not very many. Okay, let's pull back. Those elephants are a massive problem, you see. The light artillery is going to try and do as much damage as it can, I would assume. But obviously, I don't really want to be getting involved in a fight like that because the elephants will cut down my infantry so brutally. Why these light artillery haven't pulled back specifically into the forest like this where the elephants are going to struggle, I don't know. Alright, we've got these cavalry back trying to pester us again. Let's pull into the forest, we'll at least cut off their path. See what they decide to do. I will fight these cavalry if we can. But whether I can get there in time, I wouldn't like to say. I'd suggest not. Our movement speed is too slow to be able to get out in this forest. I think the cavalry are going to try and push into this light artillery fight, I suspect. This is where I'd love to have some javelins. Okay, and we've got these enemy companion cavalry in the forest as well. There's quite a lot we've got to deal with. We've got some friendly citizen cavalry coming back in. Go on, get the early charge. Might have been a bit early. No, nice, good job. Did a bit of damage there. Let's see what we can do. See if we can catch these guys.
The enemy is attacking our base. Harass them.
Okay, we'll keep one unit out, just in case. They've handled the enemy.
At them.
Okay, let's push this unit in. Let's go for a slam, try and get a bit of knockback on them. And let's see how much damage we can do against these guys. We've got more friendly infantry turning up. These guys seem to have wedged themselves in a fair bit. Let's pull out this way, then pull out this way, try and intercept them if we can. We're getting a bit in, but not enough to do a lot. We've got a few of them caught in amongst us, look, so we can get a bit of damage in here. Maybe enough to actually get them to rout? No, not quite. Sure, there's a few guys in us. Okay, well, we're racking up a bit of damage on the enemy cavalry, but the battle is starting to turn against us. These slingers here are going to be a problem for us. What are we going to do? And those elephants obviously didn't take much damage from that light artillery because it didn't retreat to a more favourable position. So, oh, this is a tough one, isn't it? Let's just try and stay in some semblance of cover until we can sort of... Can you just die? Just got an enemy cavalry stood in amongst us. So those elephants are going to make their move. We could try and go for the slingers, but to be honest, they're going to be able to outrun us as barbarian infantry. We're not falconmen anymore. It's not going to be able to do a lot against them. We've got these hoplites, but obviously they are covered in the rear by the enemy slingers. Okay, let's see what we can do. We've got to make at least make a move here and hope that our cavalry can perhaps do something against their slingers. So let's start to push around. I'll push one unit right in here if I can and try and get a bit of a flank. These elephants obviously wisely just going straight for us. Ooh, I'm leaning forwards now. Let's get a charge in here and let's push these units back. Let's get these two units. I don't quite... Oh, God, blimey. Okay, you can certainly go into Defiance. Let's get these guys into Defiance, where the Defiance has gone. It didn't quite pan out because I've sort of ended up getting caught between facing off against all these people, which is not quite what I had intended to happen. And then I'm facing off against some legionaries. Brilliant. Not exactly what I wanted, particularly not with an elephant stood on me as well. Obviously then I've got these guys pushing into me, so I'm sort of caught between two phalanxes, which is not really a position I want to be in. Let's pull these guys back, see if we can at least get a flame on these guys.
The enemy base will soon be ours.
If I can get them far enough out of combat, then they will give me the Scorched Earth option. No, it doesn't want to give me. It's still determining that I'm in combat because it's catching on these few. There we go.
Burn it all.
Now let's try and charge them.
Our brothers, fools, at them.
So try and hold them in the flames then. At least we can do something against them. These other units are not doing very favourably, although it could be worse actually. Well, now being rear flanked again. Those guys are dead. Okay, well we're struggling against these guys because they're pushing us out and they're slowly pushing themselves forwards at the flames as well, which is obviously quite a good move on their part. Racking up some damage, but this is not particularly going favourably. We'll pop another shield bash. Probably doesn't mean a lot of damage. And there they go, unfortunately routing. And our flame has ended, and now we are just fighting a unit of phalanx. Let's pull out of that if we can. Come on guys, retreat, retreat, retreat. God knows what we're going to do else. With one band, Vercingetorix is still alive, which gives us something. Maybe we can go and pin in a few of these slingers. Although I guess we're just going to get capped out. No, unfortunately, not a very favourable game. Well, not to worry. We shall have another one, see if we can do a little bit better next time. It was a bit of a hard one. Without those light artillery being able to kill those elephants, they were really the only counter we had against the elephants. We didn't have any javelins or pikes. So with those light artillery, when they threw their lives away, it kind of made it hard. They really should have disconnected, pulled back, and ran into the forest where they could still get shots on the elephant, but the elephants would have had a hard time chasing them. Because their light artillery crews are pretty fast. They should have been able to do a reasonable job of that. But not to worry. A little good experience, and we're actually pretty close to the tier 6s, so we're going to have a video on them soon as well. So let's push into our second battle and see if we can get a bit of a better result. So we're loading into the Passage of Augustus. Looks like we've got the elephants on our team this time, so hopefully the enemy doesn't have any. Bit more favourable matchmaking. It looks like most of the units are tier 5. Where am I going to go though? That's the million-dollar question. Got a lot more infantry on our team and a bit less cavalry this time. So slingers, swords. Maybe this way isn't such a bad way to go, particularly if these spearmen come with us as well. Gives us a reasonable force. Looks like most of the cavalry is deploying on the other flank. All the cavalry is deploying on the other flank. So yeah, I'm probably going to go with these guys and push down here, I think.
Take the enemy base or hack down all enemy.
Let's go that way. Yeah, we've got some slingers, which are pretty good, and oh, some other warriors, some other barbarian infantry. These guys are pushing down towards the centre. It's fine. Well, we'll just have to wait and see what the enemy has. We'll use our harass just to gain a little bit of ground. And we shall keep moving. Yeah, again, not really a map with a great deal of forest around for us. It's not like, I don't know, some of that. It's like Marathon is pretty good. And Thermopylae, where they have those kind of nice forested areas where you can almost guarantee a fight, which is obviously good for the barbarians. Areas like this, you know, there's not a lot of benefit to me hiding in a forest like here because none of the enemies will ever come down that way. The cavalry are strangely stood waiting for some slingers. They are going to break through there, obviously uncontested, but I don't think that's really a problem. The enemy just seems to have an awful lot of cavalry. Because we own this central point, there's currently no... let's just queue up behind these slingers. These archers need to be a bit careful because if they get caught out by the enemy cavalry. Oh, go on, you know you want to. Go for the charge on us. Right, you go to intercept this guy, go to intercept this guy. Charge! Which we got off. Oh, he kind of clipped me a little bit. Right, you straight with the shield bash. Yeah, good amount of damage. Got that Roman cavalry engaged. Okay, let's try and engage this second Roman cavalry. This is good, this is good. Go for a double shield bash, just to make sure we get that movement speed debuff. These Celeres are still trying to push through the fight for some reason. Looks like one of them did make it through. Oh no, the Mounted Warband have gone back to their cavalry down there. Our archers down there. Not a lot I can do about that at the moment, no. Let's have a look at these Celeres, see if we can force a fight. Go for the charge. I want to get them engaged. I'll get what I can engage. See if we can shield bash them to slow them down. No, I'm pretty much out of range. Right, what's this other unit doing? Okay, charge. Let's try and engage these guys here. Go for a shield bash. And see what damage we can get against these guys. Slowed a few of them down, but not a lot, to be honest. Blimey, cavalry everywhere. Okay, so we've got a decent amount of damage there for basically no losses. No, not going to catch them. Okay, turn around. Let's reform, go into the forest. Got some Macedonians coming up here. One unit on its own. That's not a problem, really. I can deal with that. We shall just flank him if he doesn't get killed by these slingers before he gets here. I guess he's got Fight in the Shade activated as he has. So, yeah, we'll just send 2 and 3 units down. He's in the flames already, look. He's going to try and retreat at the flames, possibly. Let's send this unit down. If he wants to fight me, that's fine. Got into phalanx in time. Okay, let's try and rear flank him if we can. Like that. We're going to take a little bit of damage doing this. We'll pop Defiance, to be honest. It's got quite a low cooldown on Defiance, so at least we won't take very many casualties as the troops, and we'll just wipe this unit out, hopefully, pretty quickly. He's obviously gone for hold the line, has he? Yeah, that's why he's just not going to rout. There we go. And there we go, he's dead. Okay. So, he's wiped out. It's still a pretty close battle, all in all. These enemy Slurries are still causing a bit of trouble for us. But to be honest, we're as well probably just pushing straight onto their base. Battle is tipping in our favour, but let's send one unit that way then. Yep. Let's use hotkeys like I should be. So yeah, we'll send units 1 and 2 down this way, and we'll send the 3rd unit back to our base just to make sure there's nothing there capping. A couple of Macedonians wedged in a fight there, but they'll be dead soon. And we can start to cap the enemy base. We'll either cap them out, or they'll come back to try and defend, and we can force a fight. So either way, not a bad thing. And we'll have all the units defend. Looks like the cavalry that we're probably capping our base has moved off, but it doesn't do any harm to have a unit back defending anyway. Not really got a lot of damage this game, but we did a reasonable job protecting our slingers.
The enemy base will soon be ours.
And we are now on and capping. So let's form up there. What have we got over here? Some Falksmen. Wonderful.
The enemy is attacking our base.
I wouldn't say I have a preference for fighting Falksmen, particularly not with one unit on its own either. Let's throw the torches before we get the opportunity to, and then force the fight if we can, to keep them on the torches as much as we can. They haven't got Defiance activated. We are going to get flanked here. We may lose morale here. We've got 12 seconds till we get our thing back. We are pinning some of these guys on here, which is what I wanted to do. It looks like we've got Romans coming in, but it doesn't matter because we captured the enemy base and secured victory anyway. If you see at the end, my idea was then by throwing the flames and then running into the Falksmen, I was trying to pin the Falksmen on the flames because I only had that one unit. As soon as I entered combat, I wouldn't then have access to Scorched Earth because Scorched Earth is prevented from being used once you've got that melee combat modifier. So you have to throw it beforehand. And I wanted to try and keep them on it because if you just throw the Scorched Earth and they run over it, then it doesn't do very much damage to them, or not a lot. Whereas if you can pin them on it, you're getting that continuous 5 damage every tick. So by throwing it and then charging into them, they can't get off it properly. Or at least that's the idea anyway. So yeah, it wasn't too bad a battle. Obviously with the new changes we've had to the experience, that's over 3,000 unit experience and 1,000 free experience. That's not too bad. I'm going to get a lot of damage, but we played a reasonable role in sort of pestering all that cavalry at the start of the game. So not too bad all in all. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little look at the Tier 5 Barbarian Warriors. If you haven't, give the video a like. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. We'll probably have this Tier 6 guys coming out before too long, because, well, are we there? We're probably only one more battle away, to be honest, and we'll have enough experience to get there. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, yeah, as I say, let me know in the comments. Give the video a like, and subscribe to the channel for more Total War Arena content. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.